Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. Your pre-orders are due Sunday by 9 o'clock, so head on over to infinityflux.net. So you pre-order your books, you make sure you get them, and you're not left in the cold when there's no books left for you. But there's some huge books on this one that I am almost positive are going to sell out. Huge titles that you won't want to miss. But before we get into them, a little bit of housekeeping.
Yeah, this is Comics from the Future, but Andy and I are coming to you from the past because we are recording this on Wednesday, the 26th. We got
sent through a portal.
Right, yeah, no. We're recording this on Wednesday, the 26th, because I have a prior engagement on Friday evening and I won't be able to be here. And doing this show solo is a pretty big job, so we figured we would do this now. So with that said, there is the potential that a couple things might change. There's a few covers that aren't available on Wednesday that may be there on Friday. But as you're watching this video, as you're doing your orders, just check the website, infinityflux.net, and that will be up to date. It's just at the time of recording at about 6:30 on Wednesday evening. There's a few things that could change between now and then. But still, lots of good stuff to talk about. And yeah, this would have been a tough job for one person because there's so much big stuff this week.
Screaming every time.
Right. Yeah, right.
But before we also get started, just remember to like and subscribe to our channel. We are so close to 4,000 subscribers.
So close.
That is so many awesome comic fans, and we want to make sure that you are included in that group. So yeah, super easy. It's an easy job for you to click that follow, that subscribe, but it means a whole lot to us, and it warms the cockles of our hearts. But let's get into it, because the first one up, I want to hear you describe in big detail in our Prime Comic pre-orders.
This is Absolute Martian Manhunter #1. This is the... this is the second in the new wave, right?
Yeah.
We already did Absolute Flash, right?
Absolute Flash.
Yeah, we did Absolute Flash, and now this is the second of the 3 new Absolute books that we're getting. Written by Denise Camp, who is your writer on The Ultimates and Assorted Crisis events, which we talked about on a show a couple weeks ago. That book is great too. The art is by Javier Rodriguez. Andy and I got a chance to read this one already, as well as Absolute Green Lantern and Absolute Flash. That we'll talk about Green Lantern later, not today, but in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But this one is going to be hard to explain because it's quite a bit trippy.
Yeah.
This is the I've made a note that said this is definitely the most out there of the Absolute books, including the 3 new ones. But it's trippy in a good way, though.
Yeah.
So this features John Jones. You can see him on the cover there. He is an FBI agent who basically is in the wrong place at the wrong time when he is in a coffee shop that someone blows up. And it knocks him out. It hurts him, right? He goes to the hospital. He wakes up. And something's off about him. It seems like he can maybe hear other people's thoughts. But the way that this is visually displayed in the book is pretty unique. You can see on the cover there, there's a lot of colors going on here. This book is full of this type of art and this type of color scheme.
Yeah.
So it's not just like your standard white word balloons with little whiskers on them. That like this is the way he hears these thoughts is visually, it's like nothing I've seen before. And he doesn't understand it yet. We don't understand it either.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and it seems that, and I'm only guessing because again we don't know. It seems like that maybe he's possessed or something by some kind of alien entity. But again, I'm not sure that that's what it really is.
He's not an alien.
He's not an alien,
but he's an alien entity. He is a foreign object that is now attached somehow to John Jones. And yeah. I would say also, as you're reading this book, it almost feels like the book is like melting. It starts off kind of relatively standard, but you're kind of seeing the world through John Jones's eyes, and it gets to the point where it's almost like he's in like a weird painting, like a some kind of very melty, almost Salvador Dali type world. Yeah, but full of color.
Full of color. This is a very, very colorful book. So he gets out of the hospital, goes back to work, and he begins to investigate the bombing of that shop, the coffee shop he was in, even though his boss told him not to. He said, "You are not the investigator on this. You are a witness. You were involved in it. You're a victim. You're a witness." But of course, he sort of like skirts the rules and starts to investigate anyway, tracks down some leads, starts to hear more thoughts of more people.
He
And
almost doesn't. What I thought was interesting, he almost doesn't even like make it a big deal.
yeah,
He's like, somehow I knew that this
yeah.
lady's.
He's like, how did I know that that guy had spaghetti for dinner or whatever it
Yeah.
was? How did I know this? Not, yeah, and it was kind of nice because a lot of books will probably be like, oh my gosh, I'm going crazy, but he's just like, that's weird. How did I
Yeah.
know that? Like he's very chill about it
He's a
almost.
very chill character.
Yeah, so this when I first heard about this series, I was like, I'm not sure if that's really the Martian Manhunter story that I want. Started reading this and I was a little bit hesitant. I was like, I don't know what I'm really getting into here, but as I was reading through it, I was really into it. Like I said, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm very interested in finding out. This is definitely not like any other DC book on the stands for
Yeah.
sure.
This would feel more like a really independent.
Yeah. This feels like
title.
something that would come out of Image or
Yeah.
something, except it's Martian Manhunter. So you'll have no answers at the end of this, but lots of questions. But it's very interesting.
Especially where this issue ends, you'll be like, okay, now I want to see the next one because I feel like
That's
maybe
right.
we'll start getting some cohesion to what's going on.
Yeah.
This one I think is supposed to make you feel like you're going crazy along with him.
Yeah, and there's a really cool kind of gimmick with the last page that I can't wait to see in the printed version because it didn't work on digital.
Yeah. When I read that, I was like, oh, I wonder what this is gonna be like.
And then I was looking at that last page and I was thinking about what it looked like in the book and I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come across as digital, so I can't wait to see it in the physical book.
It's almost interactive.
Yeah, it's very clever. It's very creative. The artwork works for this book. Like, so, even though it's trippy and it's weird and I don't know what's going on, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm super duper into it and I want to learn more about this. So, yeah. And I can't wait to talk about Absolute Green Lantern too, because that one was really cool too. But
Yeah.
that's not on FOC for another couple weeks, I think. So we'll get there. But right now, we've got a cool new Absolute book. Here's our A cover by Javier Rodriguez. So this is what the inside of the book looks like
Yeah.
here.
This could easily have been a panel from the book.
Yeah, definitely. We have a Gilliam March variant. We have a Marcos Martin variant. There is a logo design variant, which that one is the coolest of all the logo design variants
Yeah.
there's been. And there's a blank sketch variant.
Which could also be a panel. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
Just take this and throw some paint on it, and there you go. Yeah, there's also some other covers, like we said, since we're recording this early, that weren't ready yet.
Mhm.
But I'm really interested to see because it's by there's some different artists that I'm like, oh, I want to see like their take on this.
Yeah.
I know one of them's there's an Incentive by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is, like you said, Absolute Superman is like, oh yeah, but he like looks like Superman.
Yeah.
There's Krypton's an element in it. In Batman, Alfred is in it. Things may be a little bit different. When you get to this one, you'll be like, what is anything?
Yeah, what is anything? This isn't, where's the Martian? Where's John Jones?
Where's the Oreos?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, but don't sleep on this one because it is another Absolute book, just like we said with Flash. This is gonna go fast because everyone's gonna want to try it out, and especially given the very different nature of it.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna want to see.
Yeah,
this.
super interesting book though.
And now for maybe as classic as you can get in a modern comic sense, we have Batman issue 158.
We go from super trippy DC book to very like DC book,
This is about as DC as you
Yeah.
can get. This is the return of Hush, not just the character. This is the return of the entire
saga. Like this is a
saga.
true blue sequel to Hush.
Even in the fact that this is not a separate miniseries. This is within the pages of Batman. This is Batman 158. We just had 157. So just like the original Hush was within the regular pages of Batman, they're doing that again, which I think is awesome.
Yep.
Is really important for comics to have big storylines within their main runs.
Although the way it's structured is there's going to be this Hush 2 is going to run 6 issues in the pages of Batman, and then it's going to finish up in a separate 6-issue miniseries that comes out next year. So we're way far away from that. So they're kind of like they're having their cake and eating it too, but this first part is
and better what that split is when we get to it. But this is by the original Hush creative team, all the way from writer Jeff Loeb. Art is by Jim Lee, which I mean, it's not just that Jim Lee is doing, oh, he'll do the first issue and hand off. Jim Lee is committed to this entire run of Hush 2. Of course, inks by Scott Williams, colors by Alex Sinclair, letters by our very good friend Richard Starkings coming back. This is like pulling, the dream team back together once again to tell this story. Now, we don't know a whole lot about what is this story. I mean, you feel like you don't really need a lot of details about this. We know Hush is coming back, even though we've seen Hush since the original Hush series. He's popped up. There's been Hush and Batman Beyond. He's had his own little miniseries here and there, but this is kind of your true sequel. Looking ahead at future issues, we do know that there is going to be a character called Silence that maybe is working with Hush, which makes sense. Silence and Hush.
And I wonder, we also had the character Shush in the 2 pages of Batman and Robin. I wonder if she'd pop up anywhere.
And soon we'll have the character Shut Your Mouth.
Yeah, right.
But also looking ahead, we do see that this is guest starring a lot of the Bat family. I think Jason Todd is going to play a big role in this. Now, when this first Hush came out, Jason Todd was not back from the dead.
Correct. Yeah, he didn't come back until Under the Red Hood, but that was after Hush. Yeah. He did come back, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Jason Todd's back. It turned out not to be him. But then, and it was only like a couple years later that they really did bring him back.
That also feels like that's how long this has been.
Yeah.
How much story has taken place. We didn't have Red Hood at that point.
Oh, it's been 20 years or more since. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is monumental. I mean, this is going to be the year of getting such big things like Hush 2, the next Marvel DC crossover.
Yep.
Like, man, DC is just hitting on so many fronts. Don't miss out on this. You'll want to get in on this first part of it because we're going to order an insane amount of this, and I can almost guarantee you we're still going to sell out because Batman fans from years who've maybe haven't even collected in forever or just starting collecting, this is going to be one where they can all come together for that. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait for this. This is going to be so incredible. Once again, there's a lot of variants for this, but there's still some that haven't even been revealed yet. So, of course, we have our A cover, this classic Jim Lee cover. We have a Jim Lee connecting. This is the part 1 of the connecting, and there is the part 2 of the connecting. And we did talk about last week that there is a triptych cover or something like that has all 3 of them, but this is for, I believe, just the single covers.
Yeah, so the one last week, that was like a double, like on the back, and then a gatefold front, like all 3 images, and then these ones are just the single images of that,
We also have a awesome J. Scott Campbell cover. We've got a Gabriel Del Otto cover. And just seeing this cover, also seeing this classic Harley Quinn, the green skin Poison Ivy. I don't know if they're going to play a part in this, but you can see Superman in the background. I can only imagine that this is going to have some game-changing bits in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate too much, but there's so many things that only a book like this could pull off. So we've got the Del Otto cover. We've got this awesome Dan Mora cover, which is just so cool, so subtle. But I love, the classic design of Hush. We have a Tony Daniel. This is the courtside variant. Batman dunking on everybody.
And he's number 27, which is very appropriate.
Yeah, love that. Even Hush is on the cover, but he can't play ball with Batman.
Yeah.
We also have a blank sketch variant as well. Then there is a Jim Lee and Scott Williams foil variant. So this is going to be a foil. And this is an interesting one. And I want to... this one, I am not 100% sure on all the logistics of it. But this is a wraparound cover. This is very limited. This is by Sean Gordon Murphy. And this one, it does say is $24.99.
Well, it's foil, too.
And it's foil. So, yeah, this is a super deluxe cover. I don't know if this is maybe could also be allocated. If you want this, just know it's going to be more pricey. And maybe, it's going to be a little bit harder to get, but we wanted to show it off anyways.
And, so Hush is going to be a 6-part story in the pages of Batman starting here. And we know that this is finishing out this run of Batman.
Right.
And then in September, we're getting the new Batman #1 by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez, which looks really cool too. So this is like the grand finale of what has been a really good several year run of
Yeah.
Batman, starting with Tom King on into James Tynion, Chip Zdarsky. So this is big finish, and I think it's going to be
It
great.
doesn't even look like the suit that is going to be in the new Batman #1 is basically the Hush suit.
Yeah.
It's the blue cowl. So even there, we see that there's hint that ramifications from this are going to continue.
And you said a character named Shut Your Mouth. I just want Hush to have a sidekick named Zip It.
Oh, that would be fun. That's his Batmite.
Yeah, there you go. We can write this stuff. DC, call us up. We'll give you a story. All right, so next up we have Godzilla versus Hulk #1. This is the second issue in the Godzilla versus Marvel, I guess you call it, which is it's a mini series, I guess, but each issue is its own standalone issue that takes place in different eras with different heroes. So
an anthology series.
Yeah, an anthology series. The first one is Godzilla versus Fantastic Four. That one has not come out yet. You can read any of these that you want. They're all self-contained stories. This one is written by Jerry Duggan, and the art is by Giuseppe Camuncoli, whose artwork I love. And in this one, General Ross commands the Thunderbolts, who are an anti-kaiju task force who have taken down Fin Fang Foom. They've taken down Mothra. They've taken down Kumanga, and they've even taken down the Hulk. The only monster they have left to take down is Godzilla. But their effort to bring him down may result in the most destructive battle royale ever to rock the earth. So I love this thought of all these monsters are locked up. Godzilla comes to town, and instead of capturing him, either he or they inadvertently let all the other monsters out, and then it's just a big free for all. And I love the thought of Fin Fang Foom and Godzilla and Mothra and Hulk.
Yeah.
And Hulk can still hold his own too.
Hulk is under the category of kaiju. It's
right. Yeah.
I mean, he still has the destructive capacity of a kaiju.
Yeah. So this sounds like a ton of fun. Like I said, it's a one and done. It's self-contained in its own story, so you can pick this up without anything else if you want to, and just read a really fun story. So this is our A cover. There's an Ed McGuinness foil, which
I feel like it's always a treat when Ed McGuinness draws Hulk for us. Like, that is, in my mind, when I think of like what Hulk looks like, it's an Ed McGuinness Hulk.
Yeah, that 2008 Hulk with Red Hulk. I mean, that's some of the best stuff ever. There's a Godzilla King of the Monsters homage variant. There is a Lee Garbett variant. There is a Nick Bradshaw, variant. There's a Scott Koblish classic variant and a Stonehouse variant. Ooh, that looks cool too.
I like this one because the Godzilla in here looks like the old Marvel Godzilla.
Yeah, it looks exactly like him.
Which was not very Godzilla looking at the time. Well, next up, we have another exciting one. This is Universal Monsters The Mummy #1. This could be a 4-issue miniseries following the steps of the Dracula, the Frankenstein, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. We are now getting the Mummy. This is by Faith Erin Hicks, and does the writing and the art on it, which is super cool. This is about our character Helen Grosvenor, and I don't know what it means by it, but it says she's a woman born to two worlds and belongs to neither. I don't know if that means like the past and the present, or whatever. I'm not sure, but it does say that she is forever haunted by a cursed encounter as a child, and that I can only imagine was maybe running into a mummy in the museum or something like that. But when unknown voices bring her back to an Egyptian dig site from her past, Helen will unknowingly play an unexpected role in the rise of a monster only known as the Mummy. So this is cool. It's not like a retelling of the classic Universal Monsters Mummy movie. It's kind of a new take on this, kind of a fresh spin on it, but still looks very classic. So I am super looking forward to this. I've enjoyed all the other ones and the kind of different viewpoints they've taken on these creatures. So yeah, don't miss out on this one. Like I said, it is a 4-issue miniseries. We've got our A cover here. This is by your writer and artist, Faith Erin Hicks. We also have a Joshua Middleton variant and a blank sketch cover as well.
Next is Daredevil Cold Day in Hell #1. This is going to be a 3-issue miniseries written by Charles Soule, who had a phenomenal run on Daredevil a few years ago. And the art is by Steve McNiven, who did Old Man Logan. And now this actually sounds kind of like an Old Man Matt Murdock story. So after a horrific series of events, the world is in shambles. Matt Murdock is old. His powers are starting to fade. But he's not going to sit by and watch his fellow New Yorkers suffer. And I love this. It says, so instead of swinging around the city from his billy club, he slings soup at a food center for the poor. So he's still doing his part to help out the community and help out those in need. But there's a mysterious old man who interrupts a secret convoy and causes an explosion. And it causes this deadly gas to fill Hell's Kitchen. Then it says, this tale takes a turn that will change how you look at the man without fear. So this is sounds really really cool. I'm just excited for the creative team on this. I love Daredevil. This comes out on April 2nd, which is going to be right in the middle of Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus, which starts next week. So everything's coming up Daredevil right now. I cannot wait to check this one out. This is our A cover. There is a Rose Besch variant. There is a Frank Miller variant. Frank Miller and Daredevil go together like peanut butter and jelly and chocolate and everything else that's good in the world. And there's a Lionel Francis Yu variant also.
Yeah, you can kind of tell from the covers here, but his suit in this is weird. It's like really stitched together, like it's been torn apart and put back together. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be really cool. And this has been teased for a long, long time, so I'm excited it's coming out. Next up, another really exciting one. This is Peacemaker presents the Vigilante and Eagly double feature. This is going to be 5-issue miniseries, and this is written by Tim Seeley and Rex Ogle with art by Mitch Gerards and Matty O'Lally, and you can kind of see how it's split up there. But the other big thing about this, it is written kind of and story consulted by James Gunn, which is super cool. That I love that James Gunn is also now part of the comics world. Like he wants to, bridge that gap. It's not like the comics and movies are separate.
Yeah, and I love that he's always promoting comics that even if they don't really have anything to do with the movies, he's like, oh, this cool new Superman cover is awesome.
Yeah, so he's consulting on this, so it's going to feel just like the TV show. Now, from what I can tell, it's inspired by the show, but this still takes place within the DC universe comics world proper. But it's kind of, blurring that line with how the characters act and everything. So this is going to be kind of broken up into 2 parts each issue, since it is a double feature. There's the Vigilante story, where Peacemaker has disappeared, and it's up to Aiden Chase, also known as Vigilante, to find him. And of course, blood will be spilled. He'll do anything to find him. Oh, but there's a little side note that Peacemaker's just on vacation. That's where he is. And someone should probably tell Vigilante before he destroys everything. Which just sounds like a plot line from the show as well. But also, we've got the Eagly story. Meanwhile, Eagly has been fighting Nazi lizard dudes with his sidekick Peacemaker.
I love that Peacemaker's the sidekick.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's like Eagly he was like, no.
Yeah.
No, he's the sidekick. They're pretty exhausted and they need a vacation. So you see, like, these stories are related. You're seeing 2 sides of it. But when they get attacked by some masked baddies and they have to save some regular people, it's only so long before these 2 worlds intersect. And I think this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So you're going to have some pretty over-the-top violence with a lot of solid comedy, just like the show, and yeah, it's going to be great. So we've got our A cover. We have a Dan Panosian variant. And we have a Derek Robertson variant, I think.
If the name's cut off.
Yeah. But yeah, also looks very classic, the TV show.
Yeah. Next up, we have Bitterroot, The Next Movement, #1. This is going to be a 5-issue miniseries. This is from David F. Walker and Chuck Brown. The art is by Sanford Green. And this is set in 1964 during the height of the civil rights movement. There is a group of activists that have gone missing. And in order to save them, a new generation of the Sangari family will have to face a menace worse than anything that their ancestors ever did face before. And the monstrous Jinnu, who are this menace that they're having to face, they are born out of hate and racism and are a threat that few people are willing to acknowledge and even fewer know how to fight. So, big return to Bitterroot. I have not read more than just a couple issues. I have the big hardcover that I
Yeah.
really want to really want to get onto because I flipped through it. It looks awesome. It looks like a really cool
When this
story.
was coming out, like it's been years since there's been some
Yeah,
Bitterroot,
yeah,
and this was huge as it was coming
yeah.
out.
So I'm definitely wanting to read that hardcover that I've got, finish out the series, and then check this out because I think this checks all the boxes right here. So this is our A cover. We have a Trad Moore wraparound variant also.
Like it says, not final art. I'm
Yeah,
guessing it's going to be in color, but that's still really cool.
yeah.
Next up, we have Marvel's Concert of Champions, of course, playoff of Contest of Champions. This is going to be by Jason Liu and Rafael Loriro. Loriro. Sure.
Yeah.
We butcher people's names on this, and we apologize just as a blanket statement. But so this is kind of spinning out of the previous Dazzler miniseries, which was also written by Jason Liu. And in this, it's a huge festival that brings all the Marvel Universe's musical stars together. And of course, Dazzler is the headline. So I like that there's the Marvel Universe. They're all superheroes, but also they've got these other careers
Yeah.
that they're dealing with. But you've got Dazzler headlining it. You've got Luna Snow performing, Lila Cheney. You can see a bunch of other characters on the cover as well, including like Spider Gwen. Dupe is up there,
Yep.
which and he's got an acoustic guitar. I like that maybe Dupe is just like a John Denver.
Yeah, it's a little more chill.
He's
Yeah.
a little bit more chill. He's in a coffee shop. But there's also a new metal band there called Deep Void. What's their deal, and do they have sinister intentions? I'll be interested if it's. I hope it's almost like the original Thunderbolts, but of a band form.
Yeah.
It's like they're all secretly
Yeah.
like all these. Oh, it's Red Skull
Yeah,
on bass.
Baron Zemo is the lead singer. Yeah.
I would love something like that, but this sounds really fun. Now, I'm not sure if this is a one-shot or a mini-series.
I was going to ask because this seems like it would be a one shot, but it also seems like too much of a story to fit in one issue, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Marvel's not always the best at putting like one of so many or whatever, or saying if it's a one-shot.
Yeah.
So you could probably do a little research and find out if there's been additional issues solicited. But yeah, just wanted to point this out. It sounds really, really fun. I love these kind of, not the most serious stories. It's not, world-shaking kind of stuff. It's a big old concert.
I think there's only one solicited, so yeah, this may be a one shot. There's nothing solicited past April.
Okay.
So maybe it is just the one, yeah.
Yeah, so that even better. You can get it all in one probably. But we've got a bunch of cool covers for this as well. So we've got our A cover here. We have a Talavera variant. Once again, they're all channeling Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And we all know that was supposed to happen. We have a Ji Young Lee variant. And we have a NetEase Marvel Rivals variant with Luna Snow.
Next up is Ironheart Bad Chemistry #1. I don't know if this is going to be a mini-series. I think it is going to be a mini-series. Usually when they have the subtitles, it's a mini-series. I don't know how many issues, though. But it's written by John Jennings, and the art is by Jethro Morales. And the villain Khem, Khem, who first appeared in the 2023 Free Comic Book Day Marvel Voices book, that villain is back. And I think that was their first appearance, and I think their only appearance. I don't think they've been back since then. So what is this villain's connection to a classic Iron Man villain? And can Riri stop her before all of Chicago burns to the ground? That's pretty much all we know for right now. I don't really know like what Kim is doing. Is she after something? I'm not sure. But it's good to have Riri back. We haven't really seen her in a while. She has popped up in the pages of Iron Man here and there. She was actually in this week's issue of Iron Man quite a bit, and she was in the previous run from Jerry Duggan. She was in a few issues of that. But it's been a while since she's had the spotlight. Of course, we know we're getting the Ironheart series at some point this year. So yeah, some more Ironheart goodness. So this is our A cover. There is a Manhanini variant, and there is a Paris Elaine variant.
Next up, we have a new mini-series. This is going to be 6 issues, Far Down Below. And this sounds really fun. It's by Chris Condon, and I think it's Jeed Shaw?
Gigi?
Or Gigi Shaw. So this sounds really good. When I read it originally, you said, oh, this sounds like The Goonies, but supernatural.
Right.
It does. So in the summer of 1983, teen friends Mike and Brian seek escape from rainy day boredom by exploring Brian's abandoned family home, a notoriously haunted house. What they find below their sleepy eastern Pennsylvania suburb will unlock doors to adventure and danger. So I love books like this
Yeah.
that are kind of horror adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Just feels like a classic '80s movie, and I love also like weird like subterranean what's going
Yeah.
on below
See,
everything.
that's why I think about the Goonies, because in the Goonies, it was a dreary, kind of damp, rainy day. The kids go up into the attic and find a treasure map, and they
Yeah,
do all, and they end up going down in tunnels and stuff. This feels like that same thing, except instead of hunting treasure, it's got a supernatural bend to it,
yeah,
but it's still like a '80s rainy day going down into some tunnels.
yeah.
Like, give me
Kind of
all
what you
the
always fantasize would happen when
yeah,
you were a kid,
right,
that
and
you
it
would
never did.
discover
Yeah,
something. No, you just find dirt.
yeah, right, and mud.
Yeah. So we've got our A cover here and a Francavilla variant. So
That's
that's how you
nice.
know a book is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
At least you're going to have an awesome cover with Francavilla.
Francavilla on a sort of supernatural type book. Oh my gosh, it's awesome.
Next up, we have more Essential Comics. There is a lot coming out this the week of these solicitations. So yeah, even more.
This is Free for All #1, but it's a one shot.
Yeah.
This is from Patrick Horvath. Beneath your creator on Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, one of my favorite books from last year. It was so good. This is a 56-page one shot, I should have said. So it is set in the future, and there is this organization called the World Finance League, and it exists to benefit all, randomly choosing those from among the billionaires and trillionaires. I'm sure we're going to have one of those in the real world soon. So the billionaires and the trillionaires of the world, this league selects a couple of them and presents them with a choice: either donate half of their assets to the common good or defend them in ritual combats. I don't think
Mortal
yeah, that doesn't
Kombat.
seem like much of a choice to me, but who knows how billionaires think. So there's the reigning champion is a 22-year-old. He's a real estate magnate called Ted Brooks. No, I'm sorry, he's not 22 years old. He has 22 victories under his
Oh,
belt, and he this time around he is forced to face his ex-wife in a fight to the death. Her name is Luella Dominguez. But Luella's been training and waiting for this moment. But will she have what it takes to defeat the man who would do anything to keep his fortune? Like, you're a trillionaire, just give away half your stuff. You're still a billionaire, right?
right.
So why do you got to fight to the death about it? But yeah, that's what this is all about. So just a nice one and done story of capitalism at its finest, I guess. So this is our A cover by Patrick Horvath. There is a Matt Kent variant. There is a Junie Baugh variant. There is a Matt Lewinsky variant and a Noah Bailey variant.
Yeah, it looks like really like Coliseum
Right,
combat.
yeah.
Next up, we have another new #1. This is We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries by Matthew Rosenberg and Stefano Landini. And I've checked out some preview pages of this and everything. It looks really cool. So this first issue is double sized. And after her mad scientist dad is killed by the world's greatest spy, 13-year-old Annalise is left alone in the world. Well, almost. Her dead dad's robot bodyguard is left following her around for some reason, and of course, kind of intervening in trouble and stuff. Now Annalise has a choice: try to lead a normal life for the first time ever, or seek revenge and maybe overthrow the world order in the process. So this is, from what I saw, really really fun. The robot is really cool looking. And yeah, this is still a, even though it involves like a 13-year-old and everything, this is a mature book because some brutal robot
Mm.
action happens in this.
It says at the top it's a Rook spy thriller. Is there like a series called Rook?
I'm
I mean, I
not
know it's not
sure.
Rook Exodus. It's not
Yeah,
that, but
I'm not sure if that's a sub publisher or
yeah.
something like that, or if there's been other ones of this. But I'm all for some more of this kind of book.
I'm all for books having long titles like this. Like, manga has crazy different titles. It's a few years ago we only find them when they're dead.
Yeah,
We're taking everyone down with us. Like, give us some long titles.
all the short titles are
Yeah.
taken.
Something is killing the children,
Yeah, we're having to expand our
Yeah.
to full sentences. But we've got some great covers. Also, we have our A cover. This is your interior artist. Even though I feel like this is a little bit more stylized than what the interior, it's a little bit more traditional on the interiors. We have a Madia de Elise variant. See a little bit of the robot there in the background. We have that's more of what the robot looks like. We have a Josh Hood die cut variant, so I imagine
It's the whole. You're gonna open it and see her with a gun,
yeah,
maybe.
something
Yeah.
like that. And we also have a Tula Lote variant.
Next up is Kids. This is a one shot, and this is written by Garth Ennis, and the art is by Dalibor Talajic. And this sounds really weird, but in a good way. So every child below the age of 1 disappears, and they are replaced by creatures beyond their mother's and father's understanding. That sounds crazy, right? But then it says creatures, but then the next sentence goes on to say what happened to the kids and who are these deranged, hyper-violent adults who have taken their place.
Oh
So
no.
I don't know if they're creatures or just like really violent humans. I'm not too sure. But there's one couple that takes it upon themselves to solve this mystery, but first they'll have to survive the night. So I can only imagine you lay your newborn in a crib and then you wake up and the newborn's gone and there's like
Some dude
some
just
some psychotic killer in the crib, and yeah, so
only from
yeah,
Garth
only from
Ennis.
Garth Ennis. Yeah, it's a one shot. Not sure how many pages. It is $7.99, so it's gonna be a little bit oversized.
Yeah, I believe this is a magazine
Okay,
size
cool. Yeah.
book. Yeah.
So, very, very interesting premise. I look forward to reading this. This is our A cover. So that's what the inside of the book looks like. That's your interior artist, and there's another by the same artist. With maybe that's I don't know if that's the baby looking up at the mobile or the killer, but either way, they're entertained. They're batting at it.
Next up, another new #1 from Image. This is You'll Do Bad Things. This is a 6-issue miniseries. This is by Tyler Boss and Adriano Terlucci.
Tur- Turtolci,
Tertulci.
Turtolci.
I just need to when I'm like and by and
Yeah,
I just stop and let you
yeah.
finish it. So this one sounds really cool. It's been 10 years since the release of He Came In With a Smile, a book, a huge selling book, a true crime smash hit that chronicled the brutal murders committed by the nursery rhyme killer.
Was that a comic?
No,
Oh,
no,
this is inside the.
it's
Yeah,
inside the
my
book.
bad, my bad. Yeah.
But the author Seth Holmes in those 10 years can't produce another book. He tries and tries to write one, and he wants to write one with a happy ending. He did his you know true to life murderous crime book, and he wants to write something nice. But the problem is every time he starts writing it, the characters he creates always end up dying. That's
Oops.
just how it naturally
Yeah. Yep.
goes. And the problem is when these tales flow so freely from his mind and through his fingers writing them, uh, they start happening in real life with all of the brutality and blood that is involved. So does he kind of manifest these or whatever? Not quite sure, but it sounds really cool and really kind of dark and scary. We've got a couple of covers for this one as well. So we have this. This is Tyler Boss. So that is your writer doing the cover there. And then this is your interior artist. So I'm guessing it'll look kind of like this.
And next up is a new one shot called Polis. This is written by Mark Russell and the art is by Lacey. This is going to be a double sized issue. And this is the beginning of the Protopius collection, which is a sci fi anthology series from AWA and Futurific Studios. And this is about Miragua, which is a floating city that's populated by refugees that has become a beacon of hope in a world beset by climate disaster and civil war. In this story, again, it's a one shot. I don't remember if I said it's double sized, but a double sized one shot. This is about a teenager from Florida named Natalie, and she sets out to immigrate from her home to this place, Miragua, and I guess what she has to do to get there. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what kind of obstacles she's going to run into, and it does sound like I said, this is a one shot, but it sounds like this is going to be a like another anthology
Yeah.
series of sci-fi books. And it sounds cool, and this is our only cover.
Well, next up we have a new Vampirella #1. This is not though a reboot or anything. This is by the current team, Christopher Priest and Irvin Gundes. And this is more of a jumping on point if you haven't been reading Vampirella. This actually sounds almost like Vampirella's version of like the story when Cable showed up in the X-Men. So,
Her eyes glowing and
Vampirella's infant son, who was stolen by her evil twin Draculina, has been returned. But this actually it's like pretty heavy stuff. But Vampirella doesn't really know her own child, and she starts spiraling through some like depression and everything because of like she doesn't know this kid. But when a mysterious figure named Cicero arrives, claiming to be her son from 40 years in the future, here's your cable bit. And in that future, Vampirella has been consumed by bitterness and become the witch of Ashthorn, a ruthless matriarch responsible for huge devastation. And now her supposed son from the future begs Vampirella to give him, her baby, back to Draculina to prevent this like future catastrophe. So I do hope he arrives in leather and a glowing eye,
pouches and a big
white
gun,
hair, all of that. But it actually sounds really cool. It sounds like a great jumping on point for Vampirella. It catches you up even in the solicitation of what's going on. But if you've been reading current Vampirella, you'll want to make sure to subscribe to this new series. But when it comes out, I'll probably check this out because it sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So we've got, of course, this is a Dynamite book. There is boo-koodles of covers, but we've got a couple for you here. This is your A cover. This is the Prio cover. We have a Greg Land cover. We have a Mark Spears cover. And a Chet Zudis cover, which I've loved their art.
And you'll be able to see all the covers on the website on Friday.
Exactly.
Yep. Next up is the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur 10th Anniversary Special. And this is from Brandon Montclair and Nacho Bustos. And the Impossible Man threatens to upend Moon Girl's birthday celebration unless she can rally her guests to stop him. And it looks like a nice lineup of guests. Yeah. What I'm more interested in is it says, who is Devil Girl and Moon Dinosaur?
Ooh.
So maybe it's kind of like their alter egos from like an evil Earth or something like that. I don't know, but I think that sounds really cool. So yeah, and I believe this is a one shot. You know,
just the first time we've seen the Impossible Man.
I don't know.
It feels like a character people are scared to touch.
Yeah,
he's so. Impossible.
I mean, I want to say like John Byrne's Fantastic Four, but I'm sure it's more recent than that. But yeah, so just a nice little 10th anniversary celebration of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This is our A cover. We have a Bustos cover, so that's your interior artist. There is a Todd Knock cover, and there is a Rancheron cover. Ooh, maybe that
might be them.
That might be Moon Dinosaur and Devil Girl. Yeah,
that's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Marvel Rivals #1. So this is by Paul Allor and Luca Claretti. This is currently coming out on the Marvel Unlimited app as Digital First Comics, but this is the first time getting collected in print. Of course, this is spinning out of the hit video game that I really love. I just wish I had more time to play, and I was better at it. But set in Tokyo in 2099, a time rift has disrupted the web of life, leaving the heroes to battle it out over the best way to fix it. And of course, you've got your two opposing sides of Penny Parker and Peter Parker. They're at odds about how to go about basically saving everything. But this is really cool. One of the things I love in Marvel Rivals is the designs of the characters. They have such unique designs. I love just like familiar, but like Wolverine, but he's like huge and everything. And yeah, in the game, you don't get a whole lot of story. You kind of just dropped in and you go at it. But I'm excited to kind of get some backstory to everything that's going on, because I didn't know that Peter and Penny were at odds with each other in this. And I even watched the opening cinematic and I didn't even catch that.
Have to watch it again.
But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I want to check this out. So we've got our A cover here. We also have The Tension is Killing Me. We have an Adam Warren variant. And we have a Sabatini variant as well.
And next up is Absolute Wonder Woman #6. So #5 came out this week. And wait, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And it was we talked about it on Monday. #5 came out this week, wrapping up the first story arc. This is kicking off a 2-part story arc.
That's almost like how Absolute Batman's going to be doing.
That's right.
Story arc.
And I'm pretty sure, not that this not the time or place for this, but I'm pretty sure that the first trade paperback is going to collect the first 7 issues.
That's
So the
very
5-part story and then this 2-part story that's starting here. So kicking off a 2-part story arc before, I guess issue 6 out of 8 is going to be something new. But this is the shocking origin of Diana's deadly weapons. Diana defied the will of the gods when she left Hell, and Hades is taking it personally. But when he interrogates her, what she tells him actually surprises him. So this is going to be, this is written by Kelly Thompson, obviously, but the art is by Mattia de Elis and Dustin Nguyen.
Oh,
so Hayden Sherman's taking a little bit of a break before I'm sure he's going to come back with issue number 8 and kick off that whole thing. And if you read number 5 and you saw how it ended, this makes sense to be like the next little story.
And to be like, what are these lassos all about?
Yeah, right. So yeah, just a cool little 2-part story arc. I guess just letting us learn a little bit more about Absolute Wonder Woman because we still don't have all the answers yet. So this should be really good. All the rest of it's been great. So there is a Hayden Sherman cover for the 8 cover. There's a Sean Gordon Murphy cover, which that one is really cool. Yeah. And there's a Jenny Frison International Women's Day variant.
Well, next up, we got to talk about Justice League Unlimited number 5 because things are heating up. So the mysteries of the super terrorist organization Inferno begin to unravel as the Justice League realizes it's an intergalactic threat led by one of their oldest foes. Now that I really don't know. We've had our theories about what Inferno is, but it also seems like it's kind of maybe a couple of different things.
I mean, what if, on the cover we have the Legion of Doom. They're a classic Justice League villain.
It follows up with, and the Justice League may just need the help of the Legion of Doom.
I was going to say, what if Inferno ends up being the Legion of Doom?
See, I was thinking that, but then it sounds like, they're teaming up with
it.
So... The only other thing was, they have an eye on their thing. Is it Despero? Or somebody like that,
maybe.
I don't know, but I'm really excited, and that's what's so great about this is the speculation plus the amazing story that goes with it, plus classic Legion of Doom. Like this feels like I'm watching the Super Friends with that whole class there. Yeah. So I can't wait for this. We've got some.
There's nothing better than Lex Luthor in his green and purple.
I know.
I had that superpowers figure. Still do somewhere. Sinestro in the blue and the black or purple or whatever that is. Like I love that.
One of the Brainiacs is still on the team, which feels like the Superman should maybe be questioning what's up with that. Yeah. But yeah, this is so great. We've got our A cover here, of course, by Dan Mora. We've got a Nathan Zerdy variant, which I love. They're continuing the color theme of the Justice League TV show.
Right.
Of the orangey yellow
like the sunbeam
rays
coming out. Yeah.
Yep. The silhouettes. We also have a Mark Spears cover.
Super classic. DC Comics presents. Superman and Flash Racing. It's happened a lot.
We also have, this one is awesome. This is the Salvador LaRocca variant, which maybe to their Fortress of Doom, they need to put a bridge.
Yeah,
and not have to walk through the block.
Yeah, because Grodd is going to get all wet.
Oh, he's going to stink even more than I'm sure he already does. And we also have a Jenny Frison International Women's Day variant.
This is the Superman Day 2025 Action Comics #1 Golden Age size facsimile edition. So Superman Day, when is that?
I don't know.
There's a few different Superman Day books coming out.
Yeah.
Both facsimile editions of this and some others. There are a couple of new collected editions, Superman Unchained and don't remember the other. All-Star Superman, yeah. So Superman Day is coming up soon. I don't know when though, but maybe is it April 9th?
That sounds like something.
That's when this comes out. So yeah. But yeah, so
it's weird because the book was originally published in June.
Well, that's just the cover date though.
It
you know how the cover dates are like a couple months ahead. If you guys don't know, Action Comics #1 is the first appearance of Superman.
Oh, cool. Is he? Should I know him?
He didn't last long.
He didn't make it past his one issue.
Right. But yeah, so just the facsimile edition of Action Comics #1, but it does say it's Golden Age size, so I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, a little bit between standard comic and magazine. It's
not weird. Like a distillery book, but bigger than a regular book. Yeah.
Right.
So there is the regular cover, and then
the Dan Mora.
Yeah, it was cut off here, but yeah, the Dan Mora homage. Holy cow!
I've already pre-ordered this.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine for sure.
Like this is too cool. You can see it moves over just a little
Yeah.
bit. It's a little bit bigger, but yeah. Also, great to have first appearance of Superman in your collection, no matter what form it takes, and be able to read it.
That's the upcoming movie costume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up, we got continuing stories. We're just getting started here. These are stories that have already started, but they're continuing, starting with all new Venom, issue number 5. Now, what's so big about this one? This is the reveal of who is the new Venom, or whose are the new Venom. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could it be multiple people? We have our theories, but all the clues, all the red herrings, everything, all comes to this point. And by the end of this issue, you will know the name of the all-new Venom.
Or names.
Or names.
That's my theory.
So, we'll have to see. It also does mention that you might learn their name just for MODOK to kill them off in this issue, because MODOK is real angry right now.
Well, if that happens, then I hope it is Paul.
Yeah, man, it's like, it's Paul, and then MODOK just slams him into a wall, and okay, we're done.
So my theory, and everybody's theory now, is that it's Paul.
Yeah.
I have a crackpot theory that it's actually Paul and MJ's dead kids, or the kids that disappeared, but not both of them. I feel like maybe there's both of them in there. Let us know in the comments who you think the all-new Venom is, because this has been a lot of fun trying to figure it out.
This has been a really good series.
Yeah, with great artwork, but now that
until it's Paul, and then it's garbage.
But now that all signs point to Paul, I don't know, but it's been fun up till now.
It's gonna be a great one volume. So we've got our A cover here. We have an Eric Larson variant.
That's awesome.
How crazy is this?
Yeah.
I don't know when the last time Eric Larson did a Marvel cover is.
Well, I think he did a cover within the last handful of years.
But of Venom, which is like,
And he's finding the Guardsman. I mean, that's like super 90s stuff right there.
That's very, very cool. We also have our next of the Giuseppe Camicoli connecting. This is the last one.
Yeah, that's the M.
Mm-hmm. And there is going to be a Martin Coccolo spoiler variant, which it kind of stinks that I have to I bag and board all the books, because I'm gonna get spoiled before I even read the book.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe it won't show.
It's gonna show. It's the spoiler.
Maybe you can close your eyes and grab one off the stack and read it before you look at the cover. Read it real quick, and then you'll know. Then you can bag and board everything.
Or I'll see the cover and be like, I don't understand this. And
well, no,
then
wait a minute.
To read it.
I'm going to see it too. That's going to get spoiled for me too, because they're going to come in.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm going to see it, and
but you're going to see it up front.
I'm going to see it first, and then I'm going to text you and spoil it. I'm just going to give the one name, and then an emoji that fits with whatever my feeling is about this.
You're just going to text me and say, "Yep," and I'll be like, "No, it's Paul."
But all that being said, I've really enjoyed this series. Carlos Gomez's art on this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Some of the best. What's his name? I keep wanting to say Jackpot. Not him. The guy, the green and yellow.
Oh, Chance.
The best Chance has ever looked. Pretty much is in this book. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens in this, and then where it goes from here. Now that we know what's the story.
Yeah, because that's what the story has been this whole time: is who is Venom. Once we know,
there hasn't really been an antagonist that's been doing anything. So very, very cool with that one.
All right, we've got Wonder Woman number 19, and this is a big deal because this is the epic conclusion of the Sovereign storyline that they've been telling since the first issue of this over a year ago. The whole thing has been narrated by the Sovereign as he's recounting this whole thing to Trinity. That whole thing started in Wonder Woman number 800, that was the issue before the series started. So I mean, I feel like it's pretty much over already. I mean, Wonder Woman and the other Wonder Girls have laid waste to the Sovereign's fortune and all of their headquarters and everything. So now it's just going to be Wonder Woman and the Sovereign finally coming face to face. We saw her walking up to the White House in the current issue. So everything is gonna wrap up right here. But Tom King and Daniel Sampere are signed on to do this for a long time. So I don't know what the next story arc is going to be, but they're going to be on it, as soon as this is over. So we have our A cover right here. This is a wraparound too. There's a David Nakayama variant. There is a Sebastian Furamara variant, and there is a Nicholas Scott courtside variant. I want an issue of all the heroes playing basketball.
Yeah, that's like the classic X-Men playing
baseball, yeah.
But the Justice League plays basketball
Sure.
on the Watchtower.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many fun, like, who would be the ref? Who
Right,
would be this?
yeah.
Next up, we have Superman number 24. Now, this cover already feels like big,
Yeah.
you know, like a big statement, but this is the issue right before 25, which is going to be really big. So this is setting up some stuff that's going to happen in 25. Big changes are coming to Supercorp as Mercy Graves is now CEO, and she's got a bone to pick with Superman. But what does Superman think about that? Plus, Superwoman and the Justice League devise a plan to put Doomsday under lock and key forever. So, I kind of felt like the issue this week wrapped up the Doomsday storyline.
Yeah.
But
there's the fallout of that. There's like the
fallout.
epilogue that we need,
Yeah, so these two issues, 24 and 25, are going to round off the many deaths of Doomsday storyline. And I'm excited to see in this because it says that Lois in the Justice League. Does that mean Superman doesn't necessarily agree with what they're doing? There's been all the stuff with the Time Trapper and all of that. And if you read the issue, you know what the current thing they did with Doomsday is.
And I bet Mercy has a bone to pick with Superman because of what happened in the Lex Luthor special.
She's probably like, I
liked the other one, yeah, and so I bet that's got to be what it is.
But I can't wait. Still one of the best books coming out.
This is hands down my favorite book on the stands from DC or anybody else. Superman is it. I mean, I love it.
Yep. So, phenomenal A cover right here, of course, by Dan Mora.
Ultimate Spider-Man, though, that might. I don't know. They're neck and neck.
If Ultimate Spider-Man was just the two issues,
right.
It's like, oh, that's really
right,
good. Yeah. We also have a David Nakayama variant, a Gilliam March variant, a Grassetti variant. That's like kind of Henry Cavill.
Yeah, that looks like like a video game still.
It does look like a video game, and I would play that. And we have a Romero courtside variant, which, of course, when you're picking teams, you're going to say Superman's on your team.
That's a little unfair.
That's when you can fly above everybody. We have to play under a red sunlight.
Red sunlights, yeah. All right, next we have Lucky Devils number 3, and each issue has been, this is going to be a 9-issue series, I should say that. Each issue has been focused on a different sin, and this one covers gluttony. Cam and Star, who are our two main human characters on the cover there, their lives have vastly improved since they started working with Collar and Rake, who are their two devils. But enough is never enough, and the higher they go, the more temptation they face. So sounds like they may be getting a little bit too big for their britches, with Collar and Rake are only out for themselves. They're only doing this for selfish reasons. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe they're getting a little bit too comfortable in their new lives. This is our A cover from Ryan Brown, and there's a Trad Moore variant.
Next up, we have the Seasons issue 3. Issue number 2 came out this week, and we talked about it on our Monday show.
Yep.
But continuing on, because spring has upset everyone in town for making up stories about the Magic Carnival. I'm sure, she must have made them up because it seems like a harmless carnival. Except now spring has proof that they are evil. So that'll be really interesting to see. And just the one cover for that. Next up, we got a cover gallery. Going to go through these fairly quickly, but want to make sure that you see how awesome some of these covers are so you can order them.
Yep, we have Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, number 6. This is the Enrico Marini variant, and there's also the Joyce Chin variant.
Next up, we have Black Canary, Best of the Best, number 5. This is the Joel Jones variant, which is really cool.
We have Feral number 11. This is the Trish Forstner and Alan Pasalacqua homage variant to Scream. And it does say that this is the perfect jumping on point for new readers.
Next up, we have Flash number 19. This is the Steven Segovia variant.
I love Steven Segovia. Yeah. We have Green Lantern 21. This is the Ken Lashley variant with Hal and Kyle. And there's also the Laura Braga variant.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Harley Quinn number 49. Some great covers for this. This is the David Nakayama. I am a sucker for a choose your
fighter, yeah.
Oh my gosh, something about that. Just
Uh-huh.
I immediately started imagining what that game would be like, and yeah, isn't that under her elbow? That just looks like Sabat or whatever his name is.
Oh
From,
yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who that is, but
I want this same cover with all those characters. Like, keep the grid the same, but like put the actual character. You know.
oh yeah, like
That could be a whole.
the Batman issue has the Batman
Yeah,
selected.
Catwoman and all that. Yeah.
That would be awesome. I want this for all the books now. And this one is really cool. This is the Derek Chew courtside variant, but I love the background that, like, I want to read that manga.
Right.
That is Batman and Robin, or I guess it's Batman and like Nightwing and Harley playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to be a thing.
This is Metamorpho, the Element Man, number 4. This is the Tyler Crook variant. Ooh, he looks weird.
He's looking as bad as Plastic Man.
Yeah, he's emaciated, yeah.
We also have Power Girl number 19. This is the David Tulaski variant. Looking strong.
Mm-hmm. And Hello Darkness number 9. This is the Jenny Frison variant.
I had to look at this, and so you do too.
Yep. I hate snakes. So.
We have a Deadpool number 13. This is the April Fool's Day Sean Galloway variant. And there is also this really nice Jessica Fong variant.
I love how her hand is coming out, like grabbing onto the book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, so we've got a few here. This is the Immortal Thor number 22, Giaroso connecting variant. There's also Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu number 7. Oh, are these all like this is the whole image? Okay. There's also West Coast Avengers number 6 and X-Men number 14. So all of these connect together to make really fun.
That Kingpin.
Yeah.
It looks like what Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, is that enough? Yeah. There's X-Men number 14 right there.
And next up, we have West Coast Avengers number 6. This is the Bengus Marvel vs. Capcom variant with War Machine. Yep. Probably one of the earliest times I even noticed War Machine was in this game.
And then going back to X-Men 14, this is the Bengus Marvel vs. Capcom variant with Magneto. And there's also a David Lopez April Fool's Day variant. I want those stamps.
That Deathlock stamp is cool.
Yeah.
And next up, we got Bookshelf. These are some collected editions or graphic novels. Any one of those things that you can put on your shelf. Starting with DC Pride, To the Furthest Reaches hardcover. This is celebrating Pride with all-star creators and characters. Collects the DC Pride 2024, plus additional stories spotlighting queer characters as realized by DC's vast stable of queer and allied creators, including Nicole Maines, who's become a phenomenal writer at DC.
She's really good.
Can't wait for everyone to read Secret Six, Phil Jimenez, and Al Ewing, and more.
This is DC Finest Superboy, the super dog from Krypton. And I love in the solicitation, there's no punctuation. So it just says DC Finest Superboy, the super dog from Krypton. It's Superboy, the super dog from Krypton. This is going to be $39.99 and collects Adventure Comics 199 through 216 and Superboy number 33 through 43. Some really fun Silver Age DC goodness.
Yeah, I love some of the stuff that's getting collected that I don't know if it's ever been collected like this, like together like this.
I'm snatching up all these just because, yeah, like you said, I don't know if this has ever been collected or if it ever will be again. And they're just from so many different periods in time. I mean, I love having that library.
Next up, this is really cool. This is Spawn Godslayer. This is a trade paperback. This is the first time this mini-series and one-shot have been collected in a trade paperback from Brian Holgan, Philip Tan, Jay Anacleto, Lan Bedina, Brian Haberlin. It collects the Spawn Godslayer one-shot and issues 1 through 8. And they've been doing this recently where they're collecting some of the older stuff that
I was going to say, this isn't, like, this is from a good while ago.
Yeah. This is, if you didn't know, a reimagining, almost a dark fantasy version of the Spawn story. So it's kind of a what if set in a different time.
I'm going to have to get that because I don't think I ever read it.
And we also had the Violator trade paperback a few weeks ago on our thing. So they are really going back through the archives, and I think that's awesome because so much of the stuff I find issues here and there,
Right.
but never
Never the
whole.
full thing.
Yeah,
You can put these with the Spawn compendiums and that just have a whole Spawn library
yeah.
of everything. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And this is only $16.99 for 9
Yeah, I'm gonna
issues.
get that. This is Rook Exodus trade paperback volume 1. This is going to be $14.99 and collects the first 6 issues of Rook Exodus. My favorite of the Ghost Machine books. It went on hiatus after number 6, but it is coming back this fall with number 7. So there is going to be more Rook. Jason Fabok actually tweeted some pictures of his artwork. He's working on it right now. So if you haven't read this, it's excellent and the artwork is gorgeous. So pick this up and be ready for when the series comes back in the fall.
And next up, we have Universal Monsters Frankenstein. We just talked about the Mummy earlier, but the Frankenstein miniseries getting collected, which was probably my favorite out of all of these. This is by Michael Walsh, and each issue of this 4-issue miniseries was almost from the perspective of a different part of Frankenstein's body and how it became part of him, who had it before, and then there was also kind of a subplot about a kid who was following basically like his dad's body as it was getting like made into Frankenstein. So good. And this is going to be $24.99. This is your direct market exclusive cover that they say is only going to be printed this one time by Tutino Tedesco. And then there's also the Michael Walsh cover that you can get at any fine bookstore anywhere.
Next, I am super excited about this. This is the all new X-Men Omnibus. This is going to be $125 and collects all new X-Men 1 through 15, and then skips a couple issues and then goes 18 to 41.
Oh my gosh.
And then Guardians of the Galaxy issues 11 through 13. So this is the Brian Michael Bendis all new X-Men, where the original X-Men from the 60s, or at least that's what the books they were in, they actually come to present day, and they stayed for years. They stayed longer than I thought they would. You get some beautiful Stuart Eminem art on this. This was such a cool series. I'm definitely going to be grabbing this.
I want to say the issues it's missing were maybe part of a crossover.
Yeah, it's probably part of an event. I don't remember what that would have been, though. Infinity, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, but...
Oh, and this is our standard edition cover, and then there's a direct market variant by Alex Ross that you can only get in comic shops like ours. I'm going to go with the standard edition, though, because that's like the classic,
Stuart Eminem, Marty Gracia, Wade Von Grawbadger all working on that book was beautiful. I think I've already ordered that one, too. And last up, we have new printings. We just have one to talk about, but this one's really cool. This is the limited collector's edition, number 59, Batman Strangest Cases Facsimile. So they've been doing these giant, oversized, limited collector's edition books. Like the previous ones, it's going to have the standard, the foil, and I believe the sketch edition. But this collects... I don't even remember how we described it before. It's a facsimile of a collection of
older stories.
Stories. So this has some of Batman's strangest cases, including haunted castles, one where he meets Swamp Thing and fights demon-worshipping warlocks. So, some of the ones that I think he kept in the Black Case book or whatever that they, Grant Morrison touched on. Some of the more psychedelic and weird stuff from Batman.
And the names on that, Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams, Len Wein, Bernie Wrightson, Dick Giordano, and Irv Novick. I mean, that is classic Batman right there. That sells me on it right there.
Yep, so you've got your regular, your foil, and a sketch edition as well. And that wraps it up for Comics from the Future. Thank you so much for watching. Like we said, we are recording this a couple days early because of prior engagements. But if you pre-order something and it disappears from the ordering this week, from the solicitations, your order still counts for when it does come back. So you just got a early leap on that as well.
Yeah, the biggest change will be that if something gets, like, the deadline to pre-order may get pushed back. So you can still order it now, but it may not end up being the deadline.
Yeah, plus check out all the variant covers we didn't get a chance to show you on here. There's a ton more you can check out at infinityflux.net if you don't have an account. Super easy to set up, and everything you pre-order you get 10% off of. And once again, we I don't want to say beg. That sounds bad. But
we would very much appreciate
you subscribing to our lovely channel here.
If you're already subscribing, tell somebody else who isn't a subscriber to subscribe.
Yeah, make a new friend and then immediately tell
That's
them
right.
to subscribe and then never talk to them again. But we would so much appreciate if you haven't subscribed. Maybe you've been watching the videos for a while, or maybe this is the first video you watched. It's free. Hit subscribe. It's a little thing you can do, but it means a lot to us. We're so close to 4,000. We want this channel to be positive, talking about comics. Where our big thing is, we don't like every comic, but we like to connect people with the comics that we think they might like. So that's why we're here, is connecting comics and people in the perfect way. So you'll always get positive comic talk from us. We'll never lie to you about anything, but we'll tell you about the books and what they're about and all that good stuff. But until next time, let us know how the future is.
Yeah, right. I know. Do you have flying cars yet? I don't know.
But let us know in the comments which of these books you're most looking forward to. And until next time, see ya.